Let's look at how to write a report with two stimulus. The first one is a line graph and the second one is a table. The line graph is very simple. The table, however, is a lot more complicated. Let's look at some features. The charts above show the number of visits to Australia and where the visitors came from over a period of 30 years. Do you want to see them again? So, as I've taught you before, make sure you think about who, where, when. Also think about how you might answer how much, how many. So it is the number of visitors. And here you can see this refers to millions. So 15 is not 15, it is 15 million. So remember, to write the overview, think about all those who, what, where, when, how much, how many questions. You have to summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features where relevant. This part of the instruction is on every IELTS Task 1. So let's keep going to write the overview. What is the purpose of the data? And then, as I just explained, think about those WH questions. Here is the data again. So the line graph is clearly going up overall. It is upwards, increasing, consistent, and there is no fluctuation. What do you notice overall in the table? Just think about the main features, or we say in English, the things that jump out at you. For example, the difference in the total. So in a 30-year period, the number of visitors to Australia had gone up significantly. And find other parts of the table where the difference is really significant. You just want to focus firstly on the main features. The two graphs provide information about visitors to Australia from 1975 to 2005. The line graph plots the overall number, while the table gives more specific information according to 6 different sending regions of the world. Remember, you do not write an introduction to an essay in Task 1 because Task 1 is a report. So just go back to my advice. Only answer the WH questions and think about the purpose, which is to provide information about visitors to Australia from 1975 to 2005. That was the first paragraph. Now in the second paragraph you can write about the first graph, which was a very simple line graph. What was the overall trend? Were there any other specific details? Always with a line graph, you have to focus on how you can describe changing trend over time. Dealing with the line graph, it is very clear that the number of people who travel to Australia rose significantly and consistently over the 30-year period. That was overall. What about detail? In 1975, the figure was 8.8 million, and by 2005 it had gone up well over 3 times to reach 30.4 million. Can you write like this? You need to tell the examiner that you're only going to talk about the line graph, then make a very general statement, and then give some detail. And notice the grammar: by a year, comma, followed by past perfect. That was the line graph. Here are some other excellent expressions in that line graph paragraph. You can come back to them later. Okay, the third paragraph, you need to move on to the table. Remember, the table was a lot more complicated. As for the table, there are a few obvious trends. Firstly, all numbers increased. However, it seems that the greatest increases were from Europe and Japan, both approximately 4 times higher in 2005. Another feature is the Japanese accounted for the highest number of visitors at 3.2 million, and they still occupied the top spot 30 years later, reaching 12 million. Also, in both years, Australia received significantly more visitors from Japan and South Korea than from any of the other areas. This is an excellent paragraph. It has good linkers like firstly, however, also, another feature. It has excellent comparative and superlative language. The greatest increases, 4 times higher. The highest number of visitors, the top spot, both years, and significantly more visitors than. Here is a list that you can practice. Also notice to play with the word form. Use the word increase as a verb, but also use it as a noun, and you will really impress the examiner. Let's think about how the student expressed time. We've got in 2005, and then we've got later, or 30 years later. So why was this a good model? It had excellent time expressions, excellent verbs and adverbs, excellent choice of features from the table. The student did not write about everything, just made good choices. And a good balance of main features and detail.